All right, we're going to get started with our last session. What I wanted to do is share with you some of the resources that Heartland has to offer for specifically for pre-K2. I know that Jill and they shared what Pebble Go. How many of you have ever used Pebble Go though? A few of you? Okay, I'm going to give you just a short introduction to Pebble Go. You can access these Heartland online resources using this link right here, but it's also linked on our website. And this is what it looks like for this K5. So these are all the things that are available, and I will admit it's very overwhelming. And I also give a disclaimer. We do have a pilot in place right now that's going to be easier for you to access these online resources by using your Google email, or if you don't have Google, we figured out other ways, but I think all of you use Google. What it's called is AEA Scout, and we have 2 or 3 pilots in place right now. Have you guys started it yet? Okay. So they haven't started quite yet, but hopefully we'll have it in place in August, where you'll sign in with your Google account and you'll have access to everything. You won't have to go to Pebble Go and then go to Bookflix and then go to Gale. You'll be able to type in snow. Not that anyone else is thinking about snow. How about spring? And all the resources that will come up for you. But that's just a quick little FYI. So I want to share with you what's available, but it will look different the way that you access it come August. And there will be plenty of PD and FYIs and screencasts to share with you that. But I'm going to share with you a little bit about Pebble Go right now. So if you guys can click into Pebble Go, if you need your username and password, Tyler and Jeff at the back table, they can help you. They have your username and password for your school. So when I click on login, this is my username and password right here for Heartland. And this is what I come up with. Some of the greatest things I found on this website are the biographies. I always thought growing up that biographies had to be about dead people. I don't know, clearly Fort Dodge was like maybe a little behind the times, but that's the only time you could find biographies was after they were dead. So I clicked on biographies, and I was shocked at the availability that you have for the presidents, for Bill Gates, for Steve Jobs. Yes, he's dead, but there's not very many books, so I was really excited to see all the opportunities and all the books that were provided for biographies. Also, a story, my son really loves sharks, and so he wanted to read about sharks, and so I was like, okay, well, we'll pull up Pebble Go. Yes, I could go to the library, and yes, I could get books, but in the age of like instant gratification, he wanted to know about sharks, and so I put him on Pebble Go. Now it's one of his favorite ones. I was excited that his teacher uses Pebble Go because he's like, Mom, I use that at school, and I was like, well, I use that at work. And so it's fun to share those with him. A couple of things that features that are here. So if I go into, wait, I did not want to go to that one. Animals, what you'll find is all sorts of different media that goes with them. Oh, there we go. So this one, you can print the article, you can cite it, print the article with the picture. Over here, there's a video. Also, you'll see down here sometimes is a map or a globe, and that will tell you where that animal exists. You'll also see a microphone, and that will give you a short sound clip of that. It was fun to see. I'm probably not going to find one now, but there was like a little frog that my son thought it was pretty cool to be able to see or at least listen to, especially with all of the ELL specifically. It's nice to be able to give them a concrete example of a short video. It's not going to be long videos that you can get lost like YouTube. If you Google or YouTube eagles, you're going to find all sorts of eagle videos. But at least here, it's a safe area. It's not going to say, hey, if you like this one, I think you're going to like these 50, and they're completely not even about eagles. So this is what it looks like. So here's a video. So like I said, it's a short video. This one's only 9 seconds. Quick video of eagle flying. This one is the sound. It's not coming up right now. And then this is the globe that tells you where you're going to be able to find the bald eagles. The other things about this one is for biographies, you're going to see a timeline, and that will give you a timeline of that person. So if you're talking about timelines, that might be a great text feature to point out. These activities right here, they are all different for every single book, but this is show what you know, so this is going to be a PDF. I've actually had, if you're working with iPads, I've taken a screenshot of the PDF and then had the kids, like even in Seesaw, write the answers and draw the picture. So if I click on this, like I said, the PDF of it, draw a picture of the eagle, your favorite thing about the eagle, and then these things down here are exactly the way that they are structured right there is exactly how they're structured in the book. So you're going to see habitat, food, life cycle, fun facts. And then the other activity is a labeling. So almost all the animals are going to be that way. For the person, it's very similar. Draw a picture of that person. What are they known for? Things like that. So those are great things. I've actually had teachers print those out and put them in a plastic sleeve and just write on it with a dry erase marker, take a picture of it, and they have it in their Seesaw journal. So you don't have to constantly print these things out, especially in color. Does anybody else want to share how they have used PebbleGo in their classroom? Research? Yep, it is.
For my higher groups, I've used it, asked them what they want to research, and then let them research it, and then they make like a little video or a book or something to present to the rest of the class, so it's a little bit more independent activity they can do.
Yeah. Also, sometimes we think of this as for our lower levels, but I also know when we've talked to like Wendy Robinson and our reading consultants, if you have kids even in 2nd grade that are lower or 3rd and 4th grade, you know, giving them maybe TrueFlix is beyond their reading level, you know, have them use PebbleGo instead. They don't know, the kids don't really know any different, they just know that they're on the website. I've even told some high schoolers who are brand new, who are low, very low Spanish speaking, or sorry, they're English language learners. They don't have a whole lot of English language so that I tell them to get on PebbleGo because it's at least going to give them a little bit more English at their level, at a lower level than what they would listen to if they were listening to a high school text complexity. So that is PebbleGo. The other one I wanted to show you, and I'm a horrible person for tabs. Bookflix, I'm actually not going to share with you Bookflix. That's probably the most widely used one. But I do want to share Mystery Science. How many of you have used Mystery Science before? A few of you. I'm going to give you a short, this is the slides for Mystery Science. What it is a K-5 science, has science curriculum or lessons. They are put into grade level units, and they really build on the inquiry project-based that our NGS standards are more focused on. So this is the slides for that. But the main thing I wanted to show you is they just added these mini lessons, and there are tons of them. Actually, the one I cut off was about the Olympics. They are short mini lessons. They are not grade banded, but they are great timely ones. It kind of reminds me of Wonderopolis, but then it also provides a lesson to go with it, and not just the why, but hey, let's figure out why do penguins have wings and why can't they fly? And then there's a little like project to go with each of those. So I really like those mini lessons. You have access to them. This is a free resource for teachers to use in Heartland. We have provided it for all Heartland teachers. And this is a teacher resource. This isn't something that you would give to the kids. However, if you do sign into this one, there is a student link that you can give them. So if you are using Google Classroom or something, you want to give them a link to the video or the text questions, you can. To access Mystery Science, you sign in using your Google account. So if I were to sign into Mystery Science, I click on the Mystery Science. It's going to ask me for my email, so I'm going to put my Heartland email, and I've already signed in, but if you haven't signed in before, you find your organization. And it's going to tell me I've already signed in, so then I'm going to log in. So you find your school. So this is what it looks like. And so each of these units has a, I want to say scope, but it's not a scope. I can't remember what they're called. But a mystery one, and then there's a read-along. There's reading passages as well. But you click on it, and it's kind of like a PowerPoint. It walks you through through the lesson. So start the mystery.
Hi, it's Doug. I want to share a story with you about the weather. You see, when I was a kid, I grew up in a place that had summers like this. Warm and sunny.
So it gives you a video, and then it actually goes through and, is this a question? Yeah, so then it starts asking you questions and how you prompt. So this is mainly like a whole group lesson, but then at the end of the mystery, there is a activity. And the thing about this one,
write your name and the date at the top of your paper.
It's very scaffold. It's very much structured, I guess, too. So they're like, here's how you do it, and then they tell you how, and then they watch you do it, and then it says, like the teacher, it says pause, make sure everyone does it, kind of thing. So that is the mystery. There is so then go back to your seat.
Get a handout.
Take this paper out, fold it. So I don't know if I can just go back. The other thing about that, there is a scope and sequence as well. So you can help plan through it, your lesson. So for kindergarten, there's 3 units. There's a planning guide with it and how it's aligned to the NGSS standards. Those of you who have used it before, do you want to share how you've used that in the classroom or how your students have liked it?
This is how I do my science lessons. So we did erosion this year, and it step-by-step guide tells you what you need, what to do, and the kids love it. There's experiments that I never would have been able to come up with on my own.
And nothing that you find on Pinterest, probably.
Right. Or something that I would even attempt if it wasn't already tried out for me.
Yeah.
It does take a lot. Some of the things take a lot of materials, so you have to like prep a lot in advance to make sure you have everything. Because they can take like clay or sand or just a lot of easy things, but you just have to go find them. So.
And that's the main thing that I've heard from people. So on this list, it does say get activity supplies, so it knows what supplies or it tells you what supplies you need. And then also it emails to parents. But this email to parents is something that you can copy and paste and send to parents. But I also told teachers, hey, send that supply list too. Or turn it into a Google form and say these are the things that I need. That is the hardest part about this. But the other part of that is we don't teach science using worksheets anymore. So the only way to do that is to provide them with materials. So I've had teachers where they're like, okay, I want to just do one mystery this year. Perfect. So once you do that one mystery, you have the resources, you kind of know it. So don't think like, oh my gosh, I have to do all these in 1 year, because that's really overwhelming. So maybe in the beginning of the year when you think about planning, or towards the end of the year, you're like, I'm done with my science, I need something else. Find a mystery that works for you, and maybe that doesn't have as many materials, and just give it a shot. I also have teachers where if you're lucky enough to have 1 or 2 people teaching the same grade, hey, I will do this unit or this mystery, and you do this mystery, and then now you have lessons or you have materials for both. The last thing I'll say about that one is like there's mysteries, there's some that you need a pool noodle. Obviously right now it's going to be a little hard to find a pool noodle, so you want to make sure that you're not going to choose a lesson right now that is going to require you to buy a pool noodle, because it will be harder to find. But that might be one like, oh, I want to plan that for next year, so I need to know that, hey, maybe this summer I need to buy some pool noodles. So, anybody else want to share if they've used Mystery Science? Thank you very much for those examples. The next thing I want to show you is define STEM. Now, if Mystery Science is a little too structured for you, and you want your kids to be a little more inquiry, higher project-based, higher critical thinking, and maybe more of a student choice, Define STEM would be another option. This is pre-K-12, And what I like to explain, define STEM is it's almost like going to a pizza ranch or a Golden Corral where you have like, you can get anything from pizza to sushi to fried rice or whatever. You have like an entire overwhelming amount of food. And so define STEM is like that. It's very overwhelming until you decide to choose, like pick and choose kind of what you want to use. But it does align to the social studies standards, the math standards, the NGSS, and ELA standards. To access Define STEM, if you want to jump into it, you have to actually go to definestem.com. There is no link from Heartland to do that. And you need to use your school Google account. If you use your Google account to log in, so it would be like at ankenyschools.com would be an option, or it would be your email. If it says, sorry, you need an access code, just sign up as a 30-day trial. And Jennifer at Define STEM knows that I'm presenting this today, and she'll usually say, hey, I saw that 20 people just signed up, and they'll just move you to the paid version, because we have purchases for at least 3 years for our districts, and so you have the paid version. For some reason, not all of our domains are working the first time, and so she sees those coming in, and she'll switch you, and you'll get an email that says, hey, we switched you over to a paid. To the paid one. This is what the main view looks like. For here, these are the performance tasks. So every activity, so this is about, I'll tell you about the one the fourth grade teacher that I've used this with, she jumped right in. I gave her a little bit of, her PLC invited me to come out and give a little Define STEM introduction. And she went feet first into it, into the deep end, that's for sure. And it was so exciting for her that she did the aquarium building one, and she ended up Skyping with somebody from the Blank Park Zoo, and then she had kids not ask. The teacher didn't ask her to do that, but they had kids going to PetSmart and all these different places to get things that they wanted to fill into their plant aquarium. So they were the ones that were like, oh my gosh, this could work, and this could work, and this could work for this animal. She said she has never had kids so excited about science than before she's used this. And so that was one fourth grade teacher, and now all the fourth grade teachers are using it because they're like, what? Your kids are enjoying science? And so now their whole team is doing it, and she's like, I would never go back to anything else. And actually that district now is looking at using it as their curriculum, because it is very exciting, and it gives students choice, but yet you're meeting the standards as well. But it's very overwhelming. So this is not for everybody. If you need a little baby step, if you need that shallow entry, I would do mystery science. But if you're ready to dive deep into the deep end, definitely Define STEM. And those are things that we are here to support you with as well. Like I said, this teacher had me come in and kind of just be that second person to plan, co-teach, be just a listening ear, like, oh my gosh, why did I choose to do this? And then I just helped her along the way. I know that was a quick introduction, but like I said, you have the slides for that. The last thing, or the next thing I want to share with you are the different courses that Heartland is offering this from now until summer. The first one is Gap for Littles. I'm teaching this class for license renewal and grad credit. I think some of you guys are signed up. A couple of you? Are you signed up?
We did last year.
Oh yes, Tyler has taken it. You guys have taken it last year. This is how to use draw, slides, and docs with pre-K 4 students. So this is examples, and then I'll tell you kind of things like that. But then also, so March 3rd is the class. It is a go because I have 8 people signed up already. And then the rest of your 8-hour face-to-face is via Seesaw. So that one's an offering we're offering. Another one is using Seesaw in the classroom. I'm actually taking this class right now. Jeff and I are both taking this class right now through Grant Wood, and then we are going to offer it starting April 16th. It's only at 2 hours on a Monday to come in, and then the rest are via Seesaw. So you can still earn a license renewal credit or a graduate credit. And there's links at the bottom to register for these. And then the next one is the Makey Makey workshop. If you know what a Makey Makey is, if you don't, we have one in the back, but it turns a keyboard into a gamepad. It's definitely used in maker spaces. We're having a Maker workshop on April 9th. There's 6 spots open for that. And then the last one, Kathy Hines, who's also sitting in the back, she's offering a Google Educator Trainer course. So you can attend that course and be ready to pass the Google Certified test or be a Google Certified Trainer by the end of that, June 12th and 13th. I am also offering this class the same day, but I haven't proposed it yet because I don't know what book we're using. But it is Creating Makers in STEM and STEAM, so there'll be a lot of makerspace and defined STEM lessons built into that session. And then the last thing I want to share with you is about the the South Central Iowa STEM Council. So there's some information on your table about this. How many of you have ever received a ScaleUp program funds or ScaleUp program? Been awarded a ScaleUp program? Only you guys? Okay, so the ScaleUp programs are programs offered for pre-K-12. And what they are is this is an example of one of them, and it's called Pintsized Science. And so what you can apply for is different programs that then your school, they give you all the materials for year one, and then how are you going to sustain it after that. But this one that I picked out was Pintsized Science Robots, which is really no, like you don't have to sustain this one because it's all pretty much here. But what's provided in this program is this turtle game, this turtle coding game, Cubelets, which are like hundreds and hundreds of dollars a piece. So you get those, and then you get, and you even get some books with it, and then also a Bebot with a mat. And so if you ever use Bebots, you put these cards down, and then you push the button and it goes up, forward, left. So it's kind of it's a block-based coding game for younger students. This was specifically for pre-K2. So on this, so that's a link. The first one's a link to our page. If you are not in South Central, you can find the map and decide what region you're in. But Heartland is in South Central. The ScaleUp programs, I'm going to just point out a few of the ones that are specific pre-K2. So the first one is Making STEM Connections. Is that the one you guys got? You want to share what that one was?
If you're looking to develop a makerspace in your building, this $900 heavy-duty tool cart or a bunch of smaller portable carts will come stock full of stuff for you guys to use in your makerspace. It basically gives you all the material you need, all the tools you need, all the equipment you need. It's like a $6,000 grant of stuff, basically. And it also comes with a really good full day of PD from the Science Center of Iowa. And she tells you how you can use it in your classroom, which standards can be met, and then the afternoon is basically demoing each of those things. So she'll teach you how to use a soldering gun, teach you how to use a sewing machine, 3D pens. So
all sorts of things.
we got it last year and we used it in our 3-5 building, and we're going to apply for it for 2 other buildings this year as we're trying to get it going in other buildings in our district.
Yeah, the next one is the Pintsized Science. So that's one of these kits. But you also, which is all on that table, but you also receive the PD, and you get paid to go to that PD. So whether it's in the summer, you get a stipend, and if it's during the school year, you don't get a stipend, but you get a sub. So, but I think one time you go is in the summer, and one time you go during the year. Is that correct?
We just had
You
one.
only went in the summer?
We had a full day one in August.
Oh, okay.
For the Making STEM Connections one.
And then the other one, there's Ramps and Pathways. That one is specifically out of UNI for pre-K2. That's going to give you all the things to make ramps and forest and energy and all things like that. STEM in Action is another one for K5. That's a brand new kit, so you actually choose which one you want. But there's 5 for pre-K, 9 for K2. So you, those are the different programs. The application is here. What happens is South Central, every region gets funded so much money, and so if Knoxville ends up being awarded those 2 boxes, that takes it out of the fund. So then everyone's going to get, every region gets each one of these programs. But like if Knoxville gets 2 of them, that's okay. They can get 2 of them. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? But so I would say apply for it. Also, the two biggest things that they look for in your application, and there is a video there, I think that there's a video to share with you, is how are you meeting the needs of underrepresented, there you go. Okay, so whether it's girls, whether you're meeting the needs of girls, ELLs, low SES, maybe you have a high free and reduced lunch. I know that schools have also used their FAST data, and so to show that they're serving underprivileged. Now I know a lot of tag teachers are like, oh yeah, I want to sign up. Well, if that tag teacher is only going to do it with her 20 kids or only 30 kids, that's probably not going to get funded as much as like what Tyler said. His whole, the whole building is going to have access to that. So I tell tag teachers or ELP teachers, hey, just connect with a teacher or connect with a grade level or a PLC, that if that's something that you want, how can you better your chances? Also, you have to sign off. So you have to have an administrator sign off on this. So what you do is you put their email, their name and email address, and they get an email that says, hey, Marisa Dahl's applied for this. Are you okay? Are you going to do your part in sustaining this? And yes. So you do have to have I think a 3-year plan to sustain this. So if it is something that you want to need help in also completing, we also tell them to add us in there because we are a free resource to use. So if you're like, you know what, I want to sustain this little bits, I'm going to work with Marisa Dahl, who is our AEA person, who will continue to help me provide PD to new teachers or provide ongoing coaching. Those are things that are going to improve your chances of getting it. So you can find out who your AEA person is, but 4 of us are here today. The last thing I'm going to share about this STEM Hub is this link right here at the bottom, this Google form for STEM Hub library. So these are all materials that are available to you for checkout through the STEM Hub library that is at Drake. So this is actually one that I checked out from them, which is the Pintsized Science robots. But there's all sorts of things that you can check out. We've asked them they're going to improve this because honestly, I don't think anybody knows what half of these are without a description or a picture. But there are Samsung tablets. So there's a case of 10. So if you want to use Spheros or if you don't have any tablets in your building that you need tablets for, you can check out a case of these for 2 weeks. So that makes it extremely useful for some of our buildings who don't have access to those things but still want to be able to use them. You can download any app on them while you have them. There's no process to download those apps. The other ones that are specifically for pre-K2 is this pint-sized chemistry. It's making like worms, and it's a lot with baking soda and vinegar, but it comes with like goggles and aprons and like the lesson plans and all the materials in this box just like this. Actually, that one's a little bit bigger. But it comes with everything you need to like start to do any of these lessons that you want to do, which is very helpful. It comes with the curriculum, books. If you do use all of it, they do ask you to replenish it, but it's like a huge box of baking soda. Like, you're not going to probably go through an entire box of baking soda. Or it's like a little bottle of vinegar, which you might go through, but you could easily replenish that one. You get those for 6 weeks, all of these kits for 6 weeks. To check them out, you fill this out. You fill this form out, and Sarah, that I always forget her last name, Daring, who is our South Central STEM Hub person, she emails you and says, hey, I'll be driving by your school, I can drop it off, or hey, I've already been to your school, or I'm not going to be around that, can you come to Drake and pick it up? And it's actually really easy to pick it up. I am directionally challenged, and I have a hard time figuring out all these things. But I was able to find where I was supposed to pick this up. It literally is like across the street from the NAP Center. There's a parking lot there. You walk in the building, you grab your stuff, and you walk out. So it actually is not that bad. But she does, if she's coming near your building, she will drop it off. So, yes. Yes. So it's very hard to find, but I will show you how to find it. So if you go to your South, if this is like the page for all of the STEM, and you go up to STEM regions, then you find yours. So Heartland is actually represented in like 4 of these. Which one did you want to find? Swick? Iowa Lakes. So if you click on that, then what I did is come all the way down here and find their specific website. Then, they make it really fun. Then you have to find their K-5 resources. Let me see. I might have to find it. Usually it's under K-12 resources, and I don't see it here. But I know that they have a hub. Oh, here. North Iowa STEM Lending Resources, including ScaleUp Kits. So that is your, oh, and they have books too. Oh, we have books as well. They aren't on there. Oh, they even have pictures and resource guides. So yes, there is your link. And I can put that in here as well. What is this called? North what? Northwest. There you go. You're welcome. All right, that is a conclusion of everything I wanted to share with you. Any questions? I'm going to have these things out for you guys to take a look at if you would like. Any other questions about what I shared with you today?
You'll find out if you get a grant?
Oh, yes. So applications are due by March 5th. And then they'll find out by April. Is that when you guys usually found out?
It was before the end of the school year, yeah.
Before the end of the school year, yeah. But like some of the other ones, not that that pertains to you, but some of the other like high school, like these case ones, you actually go for like a long time. Maybe even to Alaska. And that's not till actually next year. Those are the ones, but the rest of them will all have PD this summer. But those two actually are not till the end of the year. Or till next year, I mean.
And we had a lot of conversation in our district about, hey, we went out on a limb and we proposed this last year and we got it. So then we talked about, we don't have a lot of material for our new NGSS that we're being asked to do at the elementary level. Why not put in for all three of these science ones and see what we get? That would at least give us material and then some training on how we can use it in our classrooms too. So we'll put in for all three of those and see what we get.
And I know like Southeast Polk, each building put in, and they wanted all their third graders to have access to, I don't know, Ramson Pathway, Project Lead the Way. And so they, all the buildings at Southeast Polk ended up getting it, but they put that in the application that all of us want to use this. So then like not just one building didn't just get it, it was across. So if you're doing things that are district-wide, you want to be very specific, but the application is building-wide. Here is the date, so they're open through March 5th. And there's a little bit more information about them as well, the application. But it is not an award, or sorry, it's an award, not a grant. We've been very diligent about making sure that, because you are not getting any money, you're getting the resources. All right, I'm going to right now send you a link to the feedback for today. You should,